Today we ask, is the University Hospital Limerick the worst hospital in Ireland? And why is it? I'm sure you've oft heard it said, if the government were put in charge of the Sahara desert, within a couple of years there'd be a shortage of sand. Well, the government, both here in the UK and in other parts of Europe, have been put in charge, have made themselves in charge of our health system, the public health system. And as you could probably imagine, and as you probably guess, and as you probably know, it's a complete and utter shambles. Complete and utter catastrophe. Public health, both here in Ireland and the UK, is an absolute mess. The best way to survive the public health system, it seems these days, is to not engage with it. Just don't get sick. Everybody lives in an area, they've got a hospital or hospitals and clinics and doctor surgeries and whatever, and that's come under fantastic pressure in all the wrong ways in the last few years. Why? Well, because there's lots of extra people and they all need services, and they all need doctors, and they all get sick, and they all need to go to A&E, accident and emergency. They all need to get beds in hospitals should they be very sick. Well, if you don't have enough hospitals, the whole thing starts to kind of implode. And we have here in Ireland that exact situation. And I have, unfortunately, as most people I think have come into contact with it in the last few years. And I've been in A&E, and let me just say, it is like the Congo 1956. It's just an absolute shit show. You're waiting for hours and hours and hours. If you're lucky if you don't die. The best thing you can do is not be very sick when you go there, because otherwise, if you're very sick, you'll probably die just waiting for someone to take your name. But which is the worst hospital? Well, I'm going to make a case today for the University Hospital of Limerick. It's a particularly bad case, and we've got plenty of bad cases, so to be even in the running for the worst, it's pretty stiff competition in terms of hospitals over here, I can tell you that. Well, the University Hospital of Limerick, let's have a look at the University Hospital of Limerick. Now, here's the situation. I'll give you a brief. I'll give you the TLDR. Basically, they closed down a lot of satellite hospitals around the area, and they kind of morphed them into one central, big hospital in the middle. And the theory was, well, it's a centre of excellence. That's, the buzzword. Centres of excellence sounds great. We'll put everybody under one roof. All the experts will be there. Whatever's wrong with you, we got the people ready to go, ready to sort you out. That's how it sounds. That's the brochure. Now, even I, as a non-medical man, know this is complete and utter nonsense. Though I am fond of the old adage, I'm no gynecologist, but I'll certainly take a look. Sorry, lads. Sorry. I was in a flow there, so you can edit that out. That's not how it works, though. What they do is they close down all the smaller places, and they just leave the main place. They don't expand it. They leave it as it is. They just say, look, it should be grand. We'll just leave that as it is, and we'll close down all the other places, and everyone's going to flood into the middle, and bingo. What have you got? Well, you've got people on trolleys, you've got people sleeping on chairs, you've got people sleeping on the floor, and at the end of the day, you've got people dying. Yes, that's where it goes. That's where it eventually goes. People who shouldn't die in a hospital that's supposed to cure you, save you. I think the point is rather well summed up by a comment here on Reddit from Mischievous Mollusk. He says, you can, and by many models should, close understaffed, under-resourced regional hospitals. But when you do that, you need to properly expand the services of the main urban centres so that they can properly accommodate the increased load, both from traffic infrastructure to patient flow and outpatient services. Clearly, no one thought of any of this. So we're stuck with either our current model, which is limping along to a slow, painful death, or transitioning to what should be the better model, but won't be, because no one has a mind to do it properly. Well, yes, I couldn't put it better myself. In other reading, check out the Children's Hospital in Dublin. Going to become the most expensive hospital in the entire planet. Yes, planning. Planning is what we don't do here in Ireland. Why? Because it doesn't matter. No one ever gets fired. And of all the hospitals in Ireland, University Hospital Limerick, UHL, has had, seems, scandal after scandal after scandal. People dying who shouldn't die. People going in there to get cured, and they should be cured, but they're just dying. And my sincerest sympathies and condolences go to all the people who are affected. For example, an inquiry was launched after a young woman died suddenly after losing her baby. Then there was the tragic case of Aoife Johnston. A beautiful girl seen here, just 16 years of age, her whole life ahead of her. She went in to University Hospital Limerick suffering from meningitis. She was left for more than 13 hours without being given antibiotics. She tragically died. She shouldn't have died. A damning report into the incident concluded that antibiotic care should have saved her life. It was a needless death. And there were multiple failures in the emergency department of University Hospital Limerick. And then there's the case of Martin Abbott from Shannon, County Clare. He went into the hospital and was left on a trolley for 3 days. He tragically died and wasn't discovered by staff until rigor mortis had set in. Yes, rigor mortis had set in by the time somebody discovered this patient had actually died, was deceased. It's horrific. My condolences, my sympathies to that poor family of that man. The coroner ruled medical misadventure and chastised the hospital, which he said was running on a chaotic ad hoc basis. Yes, chaos ensued. Of course, if something like that can happen, it can only come out of a chaotic hospital situation. In fact, so chaotic, so catastrophic is the situation at University Hospital Limerick that only just last month the head of the HSE himself came out and said, and I quote, "There is still a risk to life at scandal-hit UHL." In fact, they can't even cover all the basics a hospital should cover. As you can see here, significant number of services suspended due to UHL emergency department overcrowding. Yes, they can't even cover the basics. And what do their own staff think of all this? The people who actually work there? Well, here's what they think. 1 in 2 UHL staff unable to express belief in quality of care. 1 in 2 staff members, says Ken Fox at extra.ie, at the University Hospital Limerick, did not express confidence that a friend or relative would get a good standard of care or service if they needed treatment there. Even their own people don't believe in the project. It's an absolute shit show. So in the midst of all this chaos and catastrophe and death, sadly, where do you think University Hospital Limerick is pushing their resources? What programs are they promoting? Is it the get people off trolleys promotion? Is it the get people off sleeping on chairs, get doctors to see patients quicker promotion? Or is it this? Check out this banger of a promotion that they're pumping funds into. Why, they're producing their own multicoloured badge to promote inclusivity to children. Yes, it seems whilst the University Hospital Limerick is in the midst of some kind of medical mass extinction event, they're pumping resources, time, manpower, and everything else that goes with it into trying to encourage little Johnny or little Mary Jane perhaps to come on out of the closet and admit they're gay. What? What the fuck? I mean, how does that even get going? How does that even start? How does that even morph into existence? Is it something like this, perhaps? Hello, sailor. Little Johnny. How are you today? Not too bad, actually. Had my appendix out yesterday. Still a little bit of pain, but nothing too bad. Thanks for asking. Yes, don't mind all that. Little Johnny, do you like boys? Yeah, sure I do. I have the best friends ever. Sometimes we play football, Call of Duty, throw stones at each other. They're the coolest ever. I see. Do you like boys better than girls? Yeah, of course I do. I am 10. Boys are far better at football. They can run faster. And they don't start crying every time you say they look like poo. Right. Little Johnny, would you like to live in a world where there was only boys? Just you and lots of boys. Huh? No, of course not. That sounds totally rubbish. Little Johnny, are you a homosexual? Whoa, what the hell is this Jimmy Savile shit? Get away from me, you freak! No, little Johnny, I'm a trained professional. I'm just trying to help you. The kind of help you're trying to give me is not the kind of help I need. Hello? Hello? I think we got a Jimmy Savile fan in here. Hello? Pervert alert. But little Johnny, I'm a trained professional. Look, I have a badge. You can take that badge and shove it up your hole. Can somebody call my man? Tell her to come and collect me. Get me out of this freak show. No, little Johnny. I'm a trained professional. I'm just trying to help you get in touch with yourself. No touchies. No touchies. My mother warned me about people like you. Stay away from me. Hello? I think we got a Jimmy Savile fan in here. Can somebody get in here, please? No, little Johnny. It's perfectly normal to be a homosexual. Help! I think we got a pervert in the building. No, little Johnny. Lots of boys like to dress up in their sisters' dresses and wear their mother's lipstick. It's perfectly normal and natural. Not the boys I know. None of the boys I know. The ones I know like to play Call of Duty and watch people farting on TikTok. Now get away from me, you freak. Yes, indeed. One can only imagine how such conversations got going. Your tax money well spent by the University Hospital, Limerick. Meanwhile, 2 floors down, people are dying on trolleys and on the floor, on chairs, and nobody even notices. But I know what you're all asking. Surely in the midst of all this chaos and catastrophe, there must have been someone in charge. There must have been a captain on deck. Well, there was. This lady here, Colette Cowan. She was running the whole show, not the Master of Disaster, the Mistress of Disaster, it seems. And while she and various other principals of the UHL have been put on temporary leave pending the ongoing investigations into the absolute catastrophe hellscape that has become the University Hospital Limerick, that in no way has stunted her career. If you know anything about the Irish system, if you know anything about the Irish civil service, you will know that as Yaz and the plastic population famously sang back in the day, the only way is up. The only way is up, baby. It seems on the face of it that she has in no way suffered any inconvenience due to the debacle. She has in fact been given a promotion. Oh, to be a fly on the wall of such meetings. I see from your file that you've been a complete and utter dismal failure in every position you've thus far held in the service. In fact, your last management position was such a catastrophic failure, we had to close down the entire department and demolish the building they were housed in. We therefore see no alternative whatsoever, but to promote you to an even higher position with an extra 50 grand a year. How do you feel about that? Well, it's no less than I deserve. Indeed. Have you ever considered going into politics? I think you'd make an excellent government minister. So the moral of the story for all of my worthy viewers and worthy subscribers is, if you're in Ireland, or if you're even thinking of visiting Ireland at any time in the next 1,000 years, if you're going to be sick, if you're going to get ill, if you're going to get food poisoning, if you're going to get a limp, you're going to fall off a cliff, for God's sake, don't do it anywhere near Limerick. Just stay away from the Limerick area, all right? It's just a bit of a tip. You're welcome.